Good day, guys. I hope your week has been going well. I hope we are all good and I hope we are all being profitable. So, welcome to Friday analysis, the last analysis for the week on synthetic indices. So, we're going to start off with V2501S because I feel like it's already in motion. All I need to do now is confirm with the pattern if we are actually going to get sales. So from the past 2 days, you remember we've had the zone marked out for sales and potentially here. So price broke this area and they came to our point of interest. So I'm just going to keep it simple with this one. Just based on that analysis, I'm going to look for a possible entry. So we've got a peak at the top here for today, and we've got an order block on the bottom here. So I'm just going to keep it simple. Like I said, what I wait for on this particular setup is a break below this zone, a potential retest. Maybe if this is the order block, which if this is the last order block they're going to leave, then I'll look for an entry somewhere there. Or I might as well look for a break and a retest right here. That's how I'm viewing this. If this doesn't play out, then price can potentially continue pushing up and I won't have any setup for today. So I only have like a sell bias for this particular asset, and that's what I'll wait for right there. Going to C500, we've been playing around this level, so I feel like we might sell. We might sell. I just wanted to go back in time just to see how these guys react. So you see, usually when they push up, they give 3 hits. Give you an example, sometime in January, equal highs in the third hit. Okay, that setup took approximately 3 days. So this is the high of this day, this is the high of this day, this is the high of this day. So this took approximately 3 days. Coming back to this one, we've got a high of this day, extend equal highs and extended. 3 hits took 2 days. This one is a continuation pattern, although it's two highs. I won't really focus much on it. No reversal here. So here what we have now is the high from the day before yesterday. Yesterday's high, which was extended. And you can see here, this is where I wanted to start looking for sales, but they didn't give a retest. They only came back to give equal highs here. So we've got a setup which has been forming for 3 days, which sort of gives me a bit of a bias on what to expect. So I'm looking to go bearish. Soon as they come below the zone, I'll be on a long-term sell, which could potentially be a midweek reversal. That's the reason why I was showing you those highs. So midweek reversals usually they form out like that. But at the same time, we've been bullish. Looking at the daily might want to expand going up. That's possible. But at the same time, I feel like we already took liquidity here. This was the initial high of Feb. They extended that high here, dragged it down a bit. So two things can happen today. Either price can continue pushing up in a bullish move, or we can find price coming back down to the 13 EMA at least, or maybe to this zone, or maybe to this zone. We've been talking about this zone for the past few days. So that's also a possible area where price can get to. But for the immediate setup, I would like to see price come back to the 13 EMA. So where can we get safe sells if price is going to drop? I'm going to look for sells at today's open price. I'm going to look for sells. Okay, this is today's open price. I'm going to look for sells if price comes below this order block, like I say, because this is still the high here. It hasn't been taken out. And if this is the peak, then this is the order block, which is also the open price. So those are my 2 points of interest for potential sells. And the 13 EMA should be somewhere in here, if I'm not mistaken. But our target again will be around 3570, 3575 area. That'll be a target. So for now, this will be a short-term trade. So 3570, that will be the target if price does what we think it might do. So if it comes, as soon as we come below the zone and get a close, I'll be selling. So if we sell from here, potentially we'll get 40 pips. If we sell from here, potentially we'll get about 20 to 25, maybe 100, depending with the entries or the entry price. So that's my current view, and I'll be looking for price to interact with the 200 EMA on H1 as a take profit area. Then after that, we'll see how we can continue to trade it. So that's my current view on C500. Going to C1000 also looks like they might give a sell. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Check the daily. Okay, daily has interacted with the 13. Can they go back up there? Yes. Can the trend be bullish? Yes. Because we've been talking about this zone, price eventually tapped into that area. If you're with us the past few days on our analysis, this was our point of interest. So price can go up, that's possible. Price can still break, come down, that's possible. So at this point, anything is possible because price is in between 2 points of interest. Looking at H1, price is reacting off a supply zone right there. Okay, we've got a supply zone in here, right? So price can still give a run to the downside, which is very possible. TDI has come below the 50 static, so we might see price actually continue going down to extend the lows. That's a possible view. H1 has already showed us a reversal, I feel. We're about to close in 10 minutes. We've got an order block which has been broken. So if I can get a retest of that order block, I can take a sell. Same order block appears on M15 as well. Right, on this particular setup, I want you to notice that the 800 EMA is in close proximity, but we've got a divergence set up here. So I still feel this price can just accelerate to the downside. So I'll just work with this level, which is also yesterday's high. So this pattern is forming on the previous day's high. If we can get a retracement, then I'll be looking forward for sells here, even though the sell might also still be short term, because I feel like this pattern from yesterday, again, we've got 3 hits and the low extended, so price could be extending, could actually be reversing, not extending. Price could be reversing to start giving buys, which is possible. So the sell here has to be short term. So the potential target would definitely be this broken order block here. Right, it was broken at this point in time. Price came back above, so I just use it as a point of reference, which is around 60.20. So I'll see if price respects this. This is my TP, right? I'm targeting this area, but again, they can still drop right into these lows, maybe form a pattern for us to buy. That's possible, but for now, this is my immediate zone or my immediate point of interest. And at the same time, I'm keeping my mind open for price to extend the highs, interact with the 800 EMA, anywhere around 6100 to 6105. I'm looking for a potential sell again from this area. So those are the 2 points of interest which I'm looking at to get possible trades. C3 has broken out the range. Are we pushing up? Yes, that's very possible. Did we get a trade here? Yes, we got a scalp sell yesterday here. Took profit on the 50 EMA. If you didn't watch yesterday's video, you can just watch it and you can get the view which we had when we were within the specific range. But for now, it looks like price is broken and they could continue pushing up, which is possible, or it could be a fake out. But I still feel right now we're leaning on steady buys. TDI is trading about the 50. Price is trading about the 50 EMA. So we are in a steady uptrend. Nothing too dramatic here. So my point of interest for a sell will just be at the top here. If price taps here, we're going to get a short-term sell. So that's a sell limit zone, 34, 34.58, 34. Is it 34? Is it 35? Let's quickly cross check. Okay, 34.58. You can just round it up to 34.60. That's a possible short-term area. So price will interact with the 50, possibly tap here, then give us a short-term sell if price is to continue going up. So we should definitely be able to get a sell around 34.60 to 34.58 to 34.60 area right there. That's my only point of interest for now. Then if price decides to come back below this gray zone, then I'll be looking for a bit of a long-term sell. That's how I'm looking at it. So if we come below this zone, it will mean price will create a peak here, right? This will be the order block, or this is the perceived order block I have right now. So if we come back below that order block and below this gray zone, then price will most likely fall back to this area. That's my other point of view, but this area is a high probability area for sell limits. B1000, we got a scalp. I remember we spoke about it extensively yesterday when we spoke about how strong the bearish move is. So the buy was short term. As you can see, they didn't even get into the top side here, but I think they reacted off here. Definitely. So this was a short term buy, which happened here. The pattern is quite visible. If you go to M15, you see the pattern is quite visible there. Let's see. Okay, so I had a broken order block here, and I also saw this as a potential area where price would react, and exactly that's where they reacted, and they pushed up, giving a short-term trade right there, or short-term buy. So today, what is my bias looking into today? We've been pushing down for the most part. Is price ready to give a midweek reversal? It's possible because it's Friday and the weekly candle closes tomorrow. So let me just remove these notes I had. Okay, so again, remember, this is where prices are currently reacting. We've been speaking about this zone. If you haven't watched our sessions the past few days, please make time to watch and hear what we're talking about, especially on this daily zone here. Then we also have a demand area on the bottom here, or my perceived demand area. So price can still continue pushing down into this area before we get any retracement. But at the same time, this point is a high probability area for us to get possible retracements. So let's quickly confirm H4. We had a nice rejection. The pullbacks have been small, which is the only reason why I haven't really been holding on to the buys for long, because we know how the price is being delivered for this whole week. We had a nice stop and here, then price started delivering to the downside. This looks like the third level of drop, because this was 1, 2, 3 if you follow BTMM. So price might still accelerate to the downside, going to that daily demand zone or daily order block. That's possible. Or we might be in our mid week reversal area. So for us to actually buy here, I need a break above this zone. So let me quickly mark this zone here. So if we do get a break above here, I might consider buys here. Might consider buys going back into this range, maybe coming back up here. Still possible. I know it's on time. Price will give a good midweek reversal. I'm just not yet quite certain if this is the one, or price will still accelerate to the downside before we get what we want. So they might still come back here. They might push and give us that setup tomorrow as well. So just keep an eye on how price reacts here. Keep an eye if price comes back to these lows. Keep an eye on how they react on this zone, because we will most likely get a possible midweek reversal at some point. So those are my 2 points of interest. If you come back here, I'm looking forward for price to extend the low, then give us a new pattern, then we can take a buy. If we come above here, I'm looking forward for price to actually retest the zone and give a buy. It could be short term. Just have to see how they react to this area. It might be long term, but it will only be long term after we get a nice impulsive move, breaking these lower highs here. Then we look for a retracement, then we buy. Apart from that, price is still bearish, and any trade we take with B1000 is still short term. B500 played out the way we wanted. I was beating myself up why we didn't take a swing buy on this one, because it actually pushed up very nicely. if you look at it from this level, because we were looking at this level, they broke, they retested nicely, broke this zone, retested it, came up, retested this area a couple of times. So I think I wanted to speak about something. Oh yeah, I wanted to speak about this. I remember yesterday when I was looking at price, I thought, okay, this price after creating this on this daily candle here, this was more like a rejection. So I was like, okay, this price has got potential to come down, but pay attention to how they react either to this zone or to this zone. And fair enough, they reacted on this zone. They gave a pattern, which I'll show you just now on the M15. And the buys actually played out nicely. It was actually one of the best setups we had from yesterday. So let me just first mention the daily candle, which I was talking about. So it was this day candle here. So after I saw this, I thought price would still come to the 13 EMA, right? But then we had a point of interest in there for potential buys if price had respected that area. So price went ahead and respected our zone, and they gave a nice buy. So you can see this was the reaction here. The order block was too far off here, but if you understand how price is being delivered, it's easy to take a setup. So once we saw the order block, this was the safe entry area, right? But from this peak, price started pushing up, and this price broke this area. Then this became the point of interest, right? The price came retested, entry there, stop loss below the zone, price pushes up, scaling at the safe entry or at the break of the zone, because this is now a bullish delivery of price, and you just target the previous D's high. This was the setup from yesterday. So what we're going to do, since this was a perfect trade, what I usually advise people to do is you should actually create flashcards, something you refer to when you want to take a trade. Okay. Oh, excuse me, I'm having hiccups. So this is what B500 we're going to go to. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see what I'm doing. I don't think you are, but I just took a screenshot of that charts. Let me also add this. Okay, so we've got a peak here, and our entry was right there, right? Notice this is price reacting off the 200 EMA as well. This is also, let's see if it's a W pattern. It's just a variation of a W pattern right there. It's just a variation. If you're not sure of patterns, just go switch to line chart so that you can see the patterns clearly. So yeah, that's a variation of a W. Price is reacting off a zone on the 200 EMA, baseline bounce on the TDI. All those confluences play a huge role when coming up with a setup. So let me continue doing this. Save this before we continue. Okay, so that's B500. So that's it's also the low of the day, so that's B500. LOD 200 EMA breakup. Buy. Okay, that's it. So done. So coming in today, what am I looking for? So still price can literally go either way. They can still come down, like I was saying yesterday, because now it looks like we're actually rejecting going to the top side. You can see these wicks. So this could be the high of the month, and price wants to retrace back into this range, right? So let's see how the monthly candle is looking like quickly. I hope it's going to be visible because the month is about to close. So we anticipate how price will act. Oh, price actually went to the top here. You can see this is the monthly I feel like we might extend and touch the 50 before we sell. So that still gives me a bullish bias on B500 based on the higher time frame chart, right? But we might get a retracement now back to the 13 EMA before going up. So the setup here is not solid. I'm not really happy with how the candles are looking. So price can either push up or they can go down. The bias is leaning on buys, but we can potentially be dragged down. So that's also possible there. So anything is pretty much possible with B500. You should just trade it with caution if you're taking a trade. I don't have anything too solid to say if price comes here, then we can do this. I'd rather wait and watch how these 4-hour candles paint. If they do extend going up, it's fine. We miss the trade. But B500, I don't have anything clear, so I won't waste much time. Going to J10. J10 yesterday, we were waiting for price to either respect this level, a push up, or break and come down. So we actually had a break, price retraced slightly, came back close below, a nice sell all the way to the 800 EMA. Take profit on the 50, take profit on the 800. Came back, retested if you had missed this. So if you notice from our analysis, usually on valid setups, price gives 2 chances for you to get in. They will break, they'll give you a nice chance to get in. If you miss that, they'll come retest the same zone, same entry points, and they still give you another move. This is quite visible if you're following all our sessions. So today, what am I looking for? Price is steadily rejecting the 200 EMA. Are we going to get a buy? The only reason why I will buy this based on the H1 is if we get a break above the zone. That's the only reason I'm buying this. Otherwise, you can see we're coming from a peak. So price is being delivered to the downside. And if they reject it, then I'm looking for a continuation to the what? To the downside. So I'm looking at both sides. When I look at the chart, I look at both sides. You can see there's a lovely rejection of the daily on the 200 EMA, of the 200 EMA, right? Lovely rejection. The price, like we said a few days ago, might be coming down here. Hence, we've got this zone. This zone is pretty minor. I don't know why I still extended it. Let's remove it because it's been violated a couple of times. So it's now invalid in my books. So yeah, I think I'll stick to a possible sell as long as you don't break that gray zone I drew there. Price should continue being delivered to the downside. 4-hour started the week. They did a stop hunt below last week's lows, started delivering price to the upside. This looks like the high of the week. Broken a structure, retested it. We've broken this structure as well. This looks like a retest of the zone. So let's be open to actually sell J10. H1, are we trading below the 13 EMA? Not yet. So before I actually sell this, I want to get it close below the 13 EMA. So like for example, from yesterday, we had this first close, we're trading below the 13 EMA. That means this trend is bearish. So sellers had high probability of getting paid out. Same as here. So here I need that close below the 13 to confirm that I'm actually going bearish and I anticipate price to break here. But if we come back above, we can potentially be still coming back to retest this area here, create a fresh pattern, then sell. So J10 will just be stalking, leave it on H1 just to see how it goes. V2501S, we spoke about it. C5, we spoke about it, still waiting to see. We leave it on H1. C1 looks like it's actually in motion. Let's see how H1 is looking like though. Okay, H1 is not yet given us that close below. So I think C1 might still give us an opportunity. If we get a close below the 13 and the 50, one sell, then possible retracement and a continuation to the downside. But if we come back above this zone, close the runner, see how price reacts when they get to today's highs. So I'm going to also leave C1000 on the H1 so that we don't miss it. C300, I'll leave it on H4. B1, We'll leave it on H1 and see how they react to that zone. B5 is the only one which I might not trade at all because this price action for me is very ugly. There's nothing to work with here. J10, we'll leave it on H1. B250S, I'll also leave it on H1. Because if you also notice, we still haven't closed below the 30 rights, which means price can still come back up here, maybe create an M. Then from here now, they can drop. So just pay attention to see how price is playing out, or they might actually hit, then continue pushing up, which is also possible. So again, today is Friday. The dealer might manipulate, knowing that people want to trade to withdraw going into the weekend. So just make sure before you take a trade, make sure the entries are safe, especially going into the weekend. So apart from that, I think that's all for today. If you've got any questions based on this session, please do join our Telegram group. Ask your questions. Tell us what you want us to add, what you want us to subtract. Share your views as well, because these are my personal views. If you've got your own views, we can just discuss, then we can all make money. So apart from that, if these sessions are helpful to you, don't forget to subscribe, guys. Don't forget to share the videos as well. And don't forget to join these live sessions. Usually we have them at 10 a.m. GMT +2, almost on a daily, like midweek, 4 to 5 days a week. So you can also join, then we can interact. Apart from that, have a lovely Friday. Have a safe weekend. Good trading.